Surrender the Mutant. Give him the forecast. Threat detected. The cards always be in my favor. Hear me. Humanity's days are over.
Marvel Animation's X-Men 97, now streaming on Disney+. All new Hasbro product inspired by Marvel Animation's X-Men 97, now available at retailers nationwide.
You ever have glue that's not as sticky as you think it is? Or adhesive strips or double-sided tape or whatever? And it's supposed to work, but it doesn't. Anyway, I'm Robo. This here's the Rewind. McFarlane Toys started out their week by revealing their DC Multiverse New 52 Cyborg Superman. And then they ended the week by giving us the full pre-order presentation. Not the traditional look for the character, but it's definitely unmistakably Cyborg Superman. There's some Cyborg parts, there's some Superman parts, just New 52'd. I'm afraid someday y'all are gonna realize that I'm just full of shit. I'm just making toy small talk, that I'm just looking at some pictures that I get excited about and going, oh look, there's a toy. Not really saying anything of substance, but at the same time, we're all adults buying toys. It's not that deep. Plus I'm just having some fun, doing something I enjoy. There ain't nothing wrong with that. At least I don't think so. I don't know where that came from. Really though, you know the deal here. Todd likes to go for that modern, edgy, kind of monstrous look when applicable. Get that look out of the way, then come back around to the one that a lot of us grew up with, or the one that appeared when we were in high school or later. Modern then classic. Not all the time, but it is a noticeable trend. So if you're saying to yourself, why not Reign of the Superman, Cyborg Superman? Just wait it out. It may not be this week, this month, or even your year, but it's bound to happen at some point. Got Superboy, have Steel, have Eradicator? Is there a classic Eradicator in there? Or is that a modern version too? As far as this goes, it seems to have sold out at most places, so there may be something to be said about modern updates for classic designs. I'm just saying. Hey, maybe a classic Cyborg Superman will show up in the McFarlane Toys DC Direct digital line, which is just DC Multiverse under a different banner, just to confuse us, or I don't know, there has to be a reason. But I don't mean a digital Cyborg Superman, I mean a phygital, which is what they're calling their physical versions of the digital action figures. Look, I don't mind there being digital versions, not at all. Hey, I'm sure it has its fans, so more power. But man, is it confusing. There's digital, there's phygital, there's DC Multiverse, there's DC Direct, there's same sculpts, same styles, same sizes, same articulation schemes, just different names. I guess what it comes down to is if you see a toy you like, buy it. That's all we can do at this point. Plus, if it gives us a Silver Age Atom, I'm all for it. Hey, look, Our Worlds at War Superman is way less nostalgic, but this has Ed McGuinness written all over it, or drawn all over it. I feel like the shading on the shorts would work a lot better if that same technique was applied to the rest of the body, but this one ain't for me, so I'm not gonna crap about it. I find the Longbow Hunter Green Arrow to be the most interesting. Not just because it's one of my preferred looks when it comes to Ollie, but they also poach the legs from their Princess Bride line. Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You stole my legs. Prepare to die. We've always been led to believe that that's an odd occurrence, that you can't share the budget of one property with a completely different property. Well, I guess that would just be Hasbro, though, with their different departments and factories. But even Mattel, well, okay, there was a couple times where they brought DC over to Masters or vice versa. Still though, we're talking about Todd. He'll do whatever he damn well pleases. It doesn't matter. And if it works, it works. I will say that this looks slightly odd with the realistic proportions, especially when it's supposed to go next to the proportions of DC Multiverse, which is bigger, muscular, longer legs, more super heroic. But that's only looking at this pose shot. I'm gonna need some vanillas, I'm gonna need some yearbooks, I'm gonna need some comparisons to see if I like this before I make any kind of hard decisions with my wallet. Jumping into the anthropomorphic animal section of this rewind, here is the Memory Toys Adventures World Panda Wanderer Wu Kingley? I apologize if I butchered that. I ran across this and thought, wow, what an amazing time for Panda action figures. Pandaction figures. I gotta stop doing that. But seriously, there was the Memory Toys War Bear variant Chase Panda Bear, and then the Maestro Union Fury Planet Panda Brothers. Now there's Wu, who looks suspiciously like an aged, realistic Po from Kung Fu Panda. I am completely good with that because look at this figure. It's elegant. Can I say that? An elegant action figure. The plastics and the soft goods just work so well together. And then there's the softness of the short fur in the sculpt and then the deeper lines of the long hair. It just, a nice contrast between the two. It's a beautiful balance. It's yin and yang in plastic form. But this shot, I can sit and stare at this all day. I know the green swirl around them is a digital effect, but without that, the eye poking through, the mix of gentleness and intimidation, I absolutely love it. Can you tell I dig this figure and its overall presentation? This just reached out and grabbed me. Abracadabra. We're only 3 items in and I've got I know it's early, but look at this. I haven't even gotten to the amount of nice accessories where I'll just let this picture say 1,000 words. Or 34 words if you count all of the hands individually. And then for some extra cost, you can get the diorama kit to go along with it, where you have the base, the stone lanterns, and the alternate soft goods top. There wasn't even a question if I was gonna get this. I've talked about pandas before. Well, okay, the War Bear Panda, super hard to get. Apparently it was a chase. Like 1 in 10 or 1 in a case. But then there was the Panda Brothers, and I thought, this is it. This is gonna be my Panda Bear action figure. The Nacelle Wild West Cowboys of Mesa line was teased at last year's Toy Fair, and then it was revealed recently in an issue of Toy Collector. Now it's time for pre-orders, and I realize after doing a little amount of research, I don't think I knew as much as I thought I knew about Cowboys of Mesa. Everything I had up here was apparently wrong. I don't recognize any of the names at all. I only slightly remember the design for Marshall Moo Montana. I thought I knew the theme song, but after Googling that, nope, drawing a blank. In my head I hear Cowboys of Moo Mesa, and I did this in the Nacelle booth last year, and again, after doing some quick searches, I don't know where that came from. It wasn't in the intro, it wasn't in the commercials. That's just something that's stuck up there. Cowboys of Moo Mesa. Maybe I didn't find where that came from. The thing I recognize the most are the star projectile effect thing coming out of the gun. For some reason, I remember that from the commercials or the show or something. I have no clue because at this point, I am 98% sure that I never watched this cartoon, even though I thought I had memories of it. Was it all a dream? Big toy propaganda. The Silverhawks effect. Have we all been living in a simulation since 1986? Either way, just looking at the style and the premise, this would fit right alongside some TMNT on the shelf. Speaking of, hey, you remember that Mezco 1/12 Collective Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles set that was solicited a while back? And at that time I thought, well, okay, some realistic looking turtles with some influences from the comics and this artwork and the show and the toys. And that's neat and all, but not for me. Then I saw the set at San Diego Comic-Con and thought, oh, okay. Then the reviewers and the collectors started getting them in hand and pictures getting posted online, and I thought, why the hell did I pass on this set? Besides the fact that it was $400. There is that. They definitely grew on me. Not enough to hunt them down, but I had a lot more appreciation for them afterwards. Well, Mezco has gone back to that well, this time giving them an animated makeover, which is essentially new heads and brighter color scheme, but it changes them up enough. But I don't know if it's for the better or for the worse. When the first image was revealed, I thought... Like I said, the bodies are reused from that first, dirtier, grittier, more realistic set, so those textures carried over, whereas the new heads look smooth and cartoony. Then when the full photo spread hit with the pre-order, I acclimated. I got used to it, I guess, because with those bigger shots, you could see that there was some skin texture to the heads. Not as much as the bodies, but better. Then I saw the alternate heads that don't have that wide, dead-eyed stare. The other heads tickle my fancy more. Of course Raph is gonna have some angry expressions. It's Raph. And Leo looks better with some furrowed brow too. Mikey with a scared look isn't bad, but then, again, some emotion, some determination. He's in battle. He shouldn't be happy. It's Mikey. I know, he should have the big smiling head, but there's also moments of seriousness. Because finally Donatello gets a surprised look, and then a head with a super huge grin to it. All three of his heads have the big O eyes. Like the first set didn't come with a fourth Raph head so you could give all four turtles red bandanas, this doesn't give you 4 serious turtles. It's always going to be either 3 serious and 1 jokey cartoony, or Mikey and Donatello, which again, I know Mikey and Donatello are a little more happy-go-lucky than Leo and Raph. Okay, yes, but man, what a missed opportunity. That was the deal breaker for me. Well, that and the $400 again, but I'm using the Donatello heads as an excuse because it's Donatello. Why wouldn't you give the best turtle all the options? Now don't get me wrong, it comes with a lot of accessories. There's a lot of reuse there too. Some new pieces. So $400 in one hit after NECA's Haulathon and everything else that's been coming out. Yeah, that's painful, but I can kind of see it. I can see how each one would be a $100 figure with everything that comes if you sort them out. So I'm not griping too much about the price, but I'm griping about the price. I think mostly I just don't want these guys leering at me from across a dimly lit collection room, you know? Come, join us. We're having so much fun over here. It's okay. We won't hurt you. Dude! And here I thought I was perfectly happy with my Pocket World Mask figure, and I still am. But man, am I gonna be adding more masks to that collection? The Brotoys Mask LR009-A is in the carnival clothes from the alleyway. That set comes with some accessories that works with that look, like the balloon poodle, and then of course the gun. You gotta have the gun if you're in the alleyway. The table and the chair and most of the rest, not so much. It feels like just extra accessories, but I'm not griping because more the merrier. Why would I gripe about extra stuff, even if it doesn't go with the figure that's included? Although the acting award does make me wish that they were doing another mask figure in the cowboy getup. But that's okay, there is still LR009-B to talk about. I think I prefer this set, and it's not just because of the pinstripe suit or the weapon loadout with the bang flags that you can put in each barrel. That's a lie. Look at this. Absolutely perfect and exactly how I would display it if I were to get it. But it's also because this set comes with a neutral head. Now that is a stupid thing to say when you're talking about Jim Carrey mask. That's part of the gimmick, is crazy facial features. But you know what I mean when you're wanting to just display a figure. Well, okay, again, it's the mask. Why am I bringing this up? Why? Small talk. Toy small talk. Set A has the head that seems to fit the carnival look. I think that's when he, a Tommy gun! But then it also comes with the jaw-dropping, eyes-popping out head from the nightclub from when he was in the yellow suit. Set B, like I mentioned, has that semi-neutral head. It does fit with the, well, do ya? Punk? But then Set B also comes with that jaw-dropping head. They do use it in the picture to mimic the bomb swallowing, but that's not what he looked like. It works, but it's not exactly. Is Brotoys actually the new name for Pocket World? The use of neon green text and handwriting font? Does the chair and table and drink go back to the yellow suit too? It does, doesn't it? I can't confirm any of that. I can't keep track of all the third-party companies, but it's hard not to think that. But then again, who cares? It's more Mask product. I'm just along for the ride. We're gonna dip back to last week's announcement for the Hasbro Marvel Legends Venom Let There Be Carnage, where I said that it is a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. That was wrong! Wrong! In my defense, at the time I recorded, the Hasbro Pulse tweet said, pre-order available Wednesday, May 15th at 1 p.m. Eastern on Hasbro Pulse. So I assumed it was only Pulse, but then I remembered it's Hasbro Pulse. They're, of course, gonna push Pulse. Plus it was a tweet. There wasn't enough room for Big Bad Toy Store and Amazon and everywhere else. Because then later that same day, Dan announced that yes, it will be available at other online retailers. But by that time, the rewind was already in the can and posted on Patreon. I'm also bringing it back up because Dan posted in-hand pictures doing a little comparison work. Dang, that's a big carnage. This is what I was talking about though. The one thing that throws me off, Cletus being larger than Brock. That just breaks my brain. It's hard for me to comprehend that size difference. Still impressive with the size, the tentacles, the weapon attachments, the alternate heads, but not for me. If it's for you, the link is in the description. The most exciting news this week, at least for me, is the continuation of Medicom's MAFEX Marvel Comics X-Men line. I mean, coming in hot on the heels of X-Men 97, they're gonna hit us with a Jim Lee styled Rogue? Gimme. Sign me up. Right now. In fact, in my head, I've already pre-ordered. It's already locked in. The money's already spent. Just give me plastic. I'm not sure if they teased this or not. It seems like we knew this somehow. I just know the Southern Belle is jumping ahead in line in front of other X-Men characters like Age of Apocalypse, Cyclops, and Wolverine that they showed at last year's Medicom exhibition. Which is okay because Age of Apocalypse sucked. No, you know I'm kidding. You know I'm just poking the bear. It's one of those storylines or media that happened when I wasn't into comics or cartoons. It was in that short little gap. You know, like X-Men animated series that I'm now thinking about going back and watching because of how much I love 97. You know my deal. I'm just messing with you. I'm just hacking on you. Either way, give me Rogue. Let's see more of this. I think pre-orders go up next week, so we'll be talking much more about this. And that's all I got for this week. I am recording this on Thursday night, so I know I'm missing stuff. I think there was just a Four Horsemen Figura Obscura tease. Looks like hieroglyphics or something, but that's what next week's for. We'll swing back around. As always, extra special thanks to the Patreon. There's been some suggestions of like the nobodies with a K and an N and an O and a W. You know how to spell no, but maybe we'll do a poll or something. Let y'all name yourselves because me trying to come up with something clever isn't really working. I'm just gonna leave it up to y'all. See what happens, I think. But we'll work on that next week. Last week during the ending, I talked a little bit about the Yellow Park announcement for their Transformers AMK Pro X series. And I said something like, well, we'll have to see how that turns out. Apparently, there's already a pre-order for Ape Link from Rise of the Beasts. But I don't know who Ape Link is. I haven't seen Rise of the Beasts. When it comes to Yellow Park, the G1 stuff jumps out at me. That's what I want to talk about. And that's where I'm at this point in my life. I'm just going to talk about what I want to talk about. It doesn't matter. We are adults buying toys, collecting toys, customizing toys. Like I mentioned, this is not world-defining. This isn't going to solve any of the problems surrounding us in the real world. It's just action figures. Some of y'all need to calm down. I mention it because I posted a short this week, and that always seems to draw in the people who don't collect, but still want to throw in their 2 cents because they feel like they have to. Oh, somebody out in the world is doing something that I don't do. It must be wrong. On the Darth Vader cape short, I got something like, "Oh, that must be a fine addition to your mom's basement." You're the one shitposting on the internet. Who's the more mature here? Who's the more grown up? Dickheads. Oh, and just in case you think I'm dwelling on it, I'm not. It's just recent, you know? The wound is fresh. I'll be fine in an hour or two. I just wanted to throw it out there because... Come on. But for all of you who are here because you want to be here, for all of you who are here because you know why you want to be here, for all of you who are here because you know why I'm here, I appreciate y'all. Bye.